The investigations into the killings of Renee Good, Alex Pretti, and the shooting of Julio Sosa Celis have entered a critical stage. For the first time since the shootings in January, the Hennepin County Attorney now has evidence shared by federal investigators in the case. This comes as two men, one in Maine and one in Houston, were shot and killed by ICE agents in the last 2 weeks. Joining me right now is Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Let me ask you, what does this shared evidence allow you to do that you could not do before?
Be able to look at all of the evidence rather than just what the BCA was able to collect. And that includes body-worn camera from federal agents. It includes Renee Good's car. It includes many statements by agents. And so our people have been going through that, working nights, and I'm sure this weekend, trying to make sure that we have everything and assess where we're at.
Okay. So you got body-worn cameras from the agents in this call that you got recently?
Yes, in the Alex Pretti case.
In the Alex Pretti case, okay, because there's extensive video of too. Now, Renee Good's family attorney, basically released a statement saying that she was very pleased with this sharing agreement. They're pleased that the case is moving forward. Alex Pretti's family released a very different statement saying, quote, U.S. Attorney Rosen refused to confirm any cooperation agreement between state and federal agencies, continuing to deny the Pretti family basic information that they have been requesting for months, end quote. What do you have to say to that?
So there are two cases, potential cases going on here. A potential civil lawsuit by both the Good family and the Pretti family, and potential criminal charges. I can assure you that our office has been in touch with both families through their lawyers, and so they know what we know, and we have told them that that evidence has been shared with us. I can't speak to any conversations that were had between the lawyers and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Bottom line, you've got the evidence that you've been trying to get for months. You sued. You've got it.
We do.
Okay, and you said it was voluminous too in the press conference.
It is. It's terabytes. It's a lot of body cam. It's a lot of statements, and so it's taking quite a while to go through it all.
All right. I understand the district attorneys in Houston, at least, have actually reached out to you for some kind of guidance or advice, because you've been dealing with this for 6 months now. What did they want to know? Of course, there was a killing that actually was reminiscent of the Renee Good case, in that the man was shot inside a vehicle.
So the district attorney there, Sean Thier, his team reached out to us and our team, and we have met with them. And the reason is a lot of what's happened here, I think people know by now, is very unusual. Usually, it would be shared information between the federal government and the BCA. You
would have had this back in January.
Well, the BCA would have had all of the evidence that the federal agents picked up. They would have been able to process Renee Good's car back then, the guns, that kind of thing. And then when they were finished with their investigation, they would have given it to us. We would not have had to go through the process of asking the federal government and federal agencies for that evidence. We would not have had to file a lawsuit in federal court. We would not have been trying to engage in the what do we have, what might they have. And so yes, the process is much delayed. I should also add that if you charge a federal agent, you know that they are going to ask the case to be removed from state court to federal court. That's a very new process for most local prosecutors.
Okay, because I had never heard about it before, but as a federal agent, they have the right to be tried in federal court, is that it?
No.
Or they were working in the process of their federal job?
They don't have a right to it, but they can ask the federal court to have their case tried in federal court. We were actually scheduled to have a hearing like that in the Gregory Morgan case. That was the road rage case we have. The defense asked for a continuance on that, so that will be continued. But there has to be a hearing where they have the burden of proof to show that they were acting within the authority of their job and doing, nothing more than what was necessary.
Okay, and do you expect the others might ask that as well?
Absolutely.
All right, let me ask you this. the jury pool for a case in Hennepin County, which is you're in charge of all that cases in Hennepin County,
yes.
come from Hennepin County. It's a very different jury pool in a federal case. If this went to federal court, jurors would be drawn from all over the state of Minnesota, so theoretically many more conservative people would be there. Does that worry you as a prosecutor going in? Because you would be the one, you would still be prosecuting the case.
Yes, that's also unusual because people have said to me, well, if it gets removed to federal court, do you have to convince the U.S. Attorney's Office to prosecute it?
Yeah.
We do not. Our team prosecutes it in federal court. State law applies, which means that if there is a conviction, there cannot be a presidential pardon.
Okay.
So as to the jury pool, you know, we have opportunities to talk to the people that are drawn into a jury pool.
The one here.
Right, and I would expect that we would come up with a jury pool that could be, or an actual jury panel that would be fair.
All right. One thing that was striking about the two cases in Maine and also Houston, Texas, they had similarities to Renee Good's case. You couldn't help but draw that. Both these people were in a car, just as she was. Is that a difficult case when the person who was doing the shooting claims the car was being weaponized against them?
I know that the administration has said consistently that anybody in a car is weaponizing the car. That's somewhat irrelevant, but what law enforcement agency agent would say, whether it's local or federal, is I was in fear for my life or my partner's life, something like that. And what I did was objectively reasonable under the circumstances. And it doesn't necessarily matter that they put themselves, like I look at Renee Good's case.
Yes.
And law enforcement is trained not to put themselves in front of a car.
Which the video shows the agent did put himself in front of the car.
Yes, but to some extent what happened and what they did beforehand is not as relevant as what happened when they were in front of the car. Was it reasonable for them to use deadly force given those circumstances? So I would characterize those cases as being harder than other types of cases, but still, you know, you're able to go forward on those cases if you have the right evidence.
All right. Well, Mary Moriarty, obviously you're very busy. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Of course.